It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 16. For a just man falleth 7 times, and riseth up again, but the wicked shall fall into mischief. And first and foremost, before I get started, I want to thank Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, who taught me this truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning, fighting this good fight of faith. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom. No, prepared this quick lesson, early morning thoughts, walk and talk, be edifying as always to the elect. So, I read that, read that scripture, because, in this walk of ours, we're going to have plenty of ups and downs, and, it's going to be difficult, but at times, but, the point is to always show up, to always continue to rise back up, as the scriptures say, as, speaking of myself first and foremost, it's times where, you don't, your flesh is fighting you so much, it's hard to feel like you can't win. But Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi gave us the tools that we need, to conquer this flesh, man, and to be more spiritual, And it's one of those things, as Apostle Paul said, continue to run that race and to fight that good fight of faith, man. Because we are indeed, fighting against spiritual wickedness in high places, as it says in Ephesians, man. It's not easy, but we can do it through the spirit and power of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. You just gotta stay tapped in to the spirit, And I was just, doing this lesson as a to hopefully uplift any brothers, because we had us and the elders from GMS Boston had a a weekly Bible study, and you had it yesterday, and it was beautiful because a lot of the brothers were saying pretty much the same thing, or feeling the same way that I've been feeling, just really just fighting as, Satan's working overtime, but brothers are still, continuing to fight that good fight, man. So it was beautiful because, we have to remember that, there's a reward at the end for all this fighting that we're going through, man. It's nothing, none of this is in vain, as the scriptures say, the Lord has crowns, waiting for brothers that continue to endure to the end. He that endures to the end, the same shall be saved, man. So we have to continue to push, continue to fight, never give up. It makes me think about the scripture with Apostle Paul, when he said that he's convinced that nothing can separate him from the love of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, man. And we got to be in that spirit, man, no matter what befalls us. Just keep on pushing, keep on trucking, And like I said, it's easier said than done. It's lucky if I'm, ranting a little bit. Like I said, this is early morning thoughts. It's, woke up today and, realized I hadn't done a lesson in a while. I mean, we had camp the other day, which is beautiful. but I hadn't personally done my own lesson in a while. And, other brothers were kind of saying the same thing. It's just been, been more of a struggle. But that's why we gotta, continue to stay locked in. I've been, watching my videos and everything, and, staying, up on the news. But, that's just part of the fight, And we gotta continue to keep on pushing, man. Keep pushing, keep enduring, do what you gotta do. Some brothers, might need to go on a fast, or pray more, because the times that we're in and entering into are extremely evil, man, and they're only continuing to get worse. So you got to stay locked in as much as possible, man. Satan have desired to sift thee as wheat, as the Lord said to Apostle Peter, man. He have desired to have thee and sift thee as wheat. So as we get closer and closer, to the end of this rulership, these demons are going to continue to, increase in their wickedness, man. They're going to continue to come up against brothers more and more. That's why in Ephesians, the 5th chapter, it says, put on the whole armor of the Lord, that you may stand against these spirits, these evil spirits, man, these demons, man, and the whole armor is first and foremost the names of the Lord, Yahawah and Yahawashi, righteousness, faith, so we got to remember, to keep these things at the forefront of our thoughts, as we continue this battle, the spiritual warfare that we're going through, man. And I said, as I'm talking to myself first and foremost, man, it's we're in the thick of it, man, and it's continued to intensify, and that's why we gotta continue to pray to the Lord, as the scriptures say, seek Him 10 times more, man, because we have to lean and trust in Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi more and more, man, because it's getting hectic, and it's only gonna get even more hectic, man. And the only way out is Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, man. And that's the point. Keep the Lord in the forefront of our thoughts, man. Always. And there's no other way. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Salakia, like I said, if it was a little bit of a rant, just my thoughts, early morning, just wanted to come out and get some fresh air, and just talk to you brothers and you few sincere sisters about just keeping the faith, man, no matter what. Don't let anything deter you, from praising Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, man. No matter what, these people in the world and Satan, these demons throw your way, always remember Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi is the way, man. There's no other way but Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, through Yahweh Bahasham Yahawashi, man. As the scriptures speak about, enter in the straight gate, that position of difficulty, man. That's the way. That narrow path, as the scriptures say, where there's a deep water on one side and a fire on the other, but only one path, that lead us to life, man. You know, and it's one of my favorite places to look at straight ahead. You know, always makes me think about that scripture. You got the land, on both sides, and then there's a narrow path between it, you know. And I always think about that scripture, you know. So, you know, you brothers and sisters, stay prayed up, man. Keep fighting that good fight of faith. Don't let nothing deter you from the mission, man. The victory is ahead, you know. Don't quit. Don't slack. Keep pushing forward. Because we're almost done, man. We're almost done. The victory is nigh. So, you know, that's pretty much it. You know, I hope and pray that this lesson, as always, has been edifying, comforting, uplifting, and exhorting to the elect. In closing, I want to thank Bahasham, Yahawashi, for putting the spirit on me to push a button. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who teach and rule well, taught me his truth. Salutation, you brothers and sisters that are out there listening and learning. Fighting this good fight of faith. Keep fighting, keep striving, keep pushing. We're almost out of here. And salutation, my fellow brethren that are pushing this word in all truth and sincerity. To you all, I want to say shalom, Abba Babal, and Kwam Yasharallah. Hey, shalom. To the next one.